the other. No, the English colonialists in India have peculiarities. No, it's a
Yes,
little
yes,
different from the others.
yes. And they were
Maybe
different.
because India have a culture, have a history very,
Yes,
Complex.
very important. No, maybe.
the English are different in India and from the way they were in other colonies.
Yes,
Yes,
and in America too, in South America, las leyes de Indias were for the time they were good laws,
of course
but here
yes,
they
yes,
didn't apply
yes,
them.
yes. That's why all the topic of colonialism is interesting because even now we have colonies.
Yes,
There are colonies.
yes.
Some
And people who went for money, just for money, in general, it's not very moral. Or I don't know. Uh,
well,
Don't
they
it's
care about
valid, but they have a different. Uh, they
well,
have not interest in the place
no.
or in
And
the people.
you see, the English went to India. I mean, they had the idea that they went to India for a little period of time
Exactly. And then return with money.
and then return with money. They didn't do that in Australia. They didn't
No.
do that in South Africa because in those
Yes.
places they went to stay, to establish themselves.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, to have a house,
But
to
in
have
India
land.
was
In India
go
was
and
simply to go
return.
to exploit the place, whatever they
Yes.
could, and then go back. So it is different.
Exactly.
No, they acted in a different way in other places.
Yes. Like nowadays in Dubai or in Abu Dhabi, people have this idea.
To go
They
to
they
stay for some
go,
time
win money,
and come back.
and return.
Yes, yes. I think that the reason for this is that the culture of the place is very strong. Indian
Yes.
culture is very
Yes,
strong.
this is important.
Very
Yes.
strong. You know, they have their own culture, and it is not anything. It is a very important
No,
culture.
yes.
Yes, and they keep it and they worship their culture.
Yes.
And so that is something that the English cannot accept because they couldn't dominate them and change their
Yes.
culture. While in other places, well, in North America, of course, they dominated the place and they changed the culture. The Aborigines
Yes.
in North America had
Well, but like the Aborigines in Argentina, but in Mexico, for instance,
claro,
it's
Mexico is
different.
different. Mexico is different.
Yes, because the Aborigines are strong cultures.
Exactly. I think that is one of the reasons, perhaps you're right, for the different attitude, no?
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that there are some things in the novel that we can trace very up to date. Like the first page, he mentions the rubbish that the river deposits
Yes.
on the coast, I suppose. And it is a very, very normal problem nowadays.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
The
Still,
pollution in
yes.
India is a very big problem.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And the question of leaving the corpses there when they drown and they putrefy there in the water, they say that this still happens. No?
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't been to India. I can say what
No.
I read or what I watch.
Now it's changing because in India, with the technology, is changing a lot. But now,
Yes.
but 10 years ago,
It is becoming very, very important now as I
very
mean,
important. Very important.
technologically speaking, yes.
Yes.
There are changes in India, but they keep the culture all the same.
Because
Yes.
India,
Yes.
nowadays, India is part of the BRIC India.
Claro. Yes. Well, they are so many. I don't know how many, but they are a lot.
Oh, yes. I don't know what's the population, but it's very,
They are,
very
yes, they are a lot.
Malena.
No,
Malena is
I don't know, but I am looking for because
Yes, yes,
I
I
think
know
that
that you.
it is more population than China, I think.
More than China.
I think
Wow.
that China is first and India second. I think, Malena, that I read something. I don't know.
China
Check.
first.
1.500 millones.
1.500 millones.
No,
No, you see, they are a
no,
lot.
no.
They are,
It's ridiculous for us.
no, imagine
50 million.
they can come here. We have place.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday I read that Tokyo, which was the city with the largest population, now is not the first one because apparently, I don't know if Sri Lanka or one of those places is, I mean, has more population than Tokyo.
Yes.
So,
Because the migrations, they change
yes,
completely
yes,
now.
but
The
all the
migration
same,
is very.
they are enormous quantities of people. Yes.
Yes, I
Now,
get it. India is more than China, a
very,
little bit more,
More than
yes,
China.
for some millions in difference. But I will add the information in the chat. Let
But
me.
it's according to the surface, no? What is
No, in a
in
total
all, the
amount.
I
total
think
number.
China is smaller,
Yes, this is the
no?
problem with the
This is a problem
population.
from China. This
India has a larger population than China, has a larger population than China, with around 1.45 billion, so mil millones, no?
yes.
Compared to China's approximately 1.42. So there is no a huge difference between the two
both
nations,
countries. Yes.
but it is astonishing to think that that China, with this giant territory, has little population in comparison with India.
No, no.
In comparison to, no? In comparison to India.
Yes. In comparison to India. Yes. Well, and this is that is why it is so interesting, no, to see the question of imperialism in India. That is why India was the crown, the jewel of the crown.
Yes, they always say that since I was a little one.
Yes, yes. And the way in which even Queen Victoria went to India, then even Queen Elizabeth went to India as a visitor. Yes, I mean, it was very important. It is very important. Yes.
And it explains also the poverty that is so high in India nowadays.
Yes, yes, yes. And also because of their culture, this question of the castes, no? Las castas.
Yes.
That is another thing, no? So all this is, yes.
No, I
Alicia,
have the data about surface. The China's surface area is about 9.6 million square kilometers, and
India,
India 3.3.
claro.
It's three times
Three more
more.
times, yes. 3 more times.
Yes.
You see, it's incredible, the amount of people
Wow.
in... So, well,
I couldn't go to India, honestly.
you wouldn't.
No.
No,
No,
I'm
me
not
neither. Me
interested.
neither.
Valeria
I'm
says
not
that
interested.
go. I know people that can't. They say that they can't go to India.
no.
I'd rather avoid going to India. I don't
It's
trust
a
in
very difficult trip because I didn't like with a group of people and a touristic way, and alone is practically impossible.
No, impossible. No, no. And I know people who traveled to India and they came back and they came very, let's say, shocked by the question of poverty and the dirt, no? And there are beautiful places. Sceneries and temples and, but at the same time, you see all this poverty, all this
Yes.
and well, it is difficult for us to enjoy in that situation.
This is a very good movie that won a prize, maybe an Oscar, that is called $1 million or
1
something.
Million Millionaire, yes.
Yes.
Wonderful
yes.
film.
Very
Yes.
good one. Yes.
Yes.
And there you see how poor they are, how they live in the streets.
And how witty.
Yes, with the questions, the TV
quiz.
program.
Claro.
Yes.
Excellent film, excellent.
Yes.
And now the Indians are producing a lot of films. You know that they have this kind of Hollywood.
Bollywood. They are
Bollywood.
terrible.
And they are producing a lot of films. And I saw one or two out of curiosity, and they show, even in these films, they show places that are very poor, very, very dark. Children who are alone in the streets and who get lost on trains because they get on the train and they don't know where the train goes. I mean, it is very shocking, very shocking.
There's a film about a boy that got lost in a train.
Yes, we are
and
talking
then-
about.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I
Do you
went
want to
New
be
York,
millionaire or something like that? No?
Yes.
I was working with
Slumdog.
an Indian man. This Indian man was in the same program as me in New York, and I found him very I don't know, unpleasant person. No, I didn't like him,
Okay.
and he was very rude in his manner, like spitting in the floor.
Yes.
Ah,
Because
no.
their habits are different from ours.
Yes.
They have this
but-
question of speaking.
But he told us that he got married with a woman that he didn't know very much because he grew older and maybe he had he thought it was a time for getting a family, but he didn't. So he made an arrangement with a woman that he didn't know, and maybe for his position at the university, he got lucky with this arrangement, and he married her.
Yes.
I know a couple. They are friends of my daughter, but their families decided that they would be married when we was 8 years old.
Yes.
Very high class.
Yes.
She make a PhD in MIT in physics, and he in Berkeley economy. No? Now he's working in Harvard, and they defend. They said our couples are very happy.
Yes.
Because we fall in love before the marriage and then disappointed. But not for us is the opposite. We were friends at the beginning, and we fall in love later.
I don't regret this kind of decisions. For me, it's okay. So what I saw very unpleasant was this kind of machismo they have. They say that women do not have the right to choose or to go out with friends and to have a job.
This continues. This is part of their culture. This continues.
But
I
now
was
they
teaching,
studied a lot of women, Indian women.
Yes, yes,
yes, they
maybe.
study. Yes, they study, but
But they return to India sometimes, yes. A very close friend of mine who lives in New York, she was, well, she had an affair with an Indian um, boy or man.
man.
And his sisters studied. One studied in Germany, was a doctor, the other, and they returned to India to be married with
With an Indian, yes,
yes,
and
with
they
an
have
Indian.
this tradition of the families choosing the other person, and they meet. They have there is a woman who has the job of finding
Yes, they
candidates.
have the possibility. Imagine, she was a doctor. She lives in Berlin. Well,
Yes,
no.
maybe in the upper class, they have some other possibilities for women.
Ah,
But
yes,
yes,
it's
I,
true.
I, I
Completely different.
yes,
Yes.
I remember talking with this man that I explained to him that women are very happy working at schools or universities or earning our money, that we are not expecting that a man provides us for a living. So it was very shocking to explain to a man that normal life is like this,
Yes, yes,
equal for men
yes,
and women.
yes,
And he was an university professor.
yes,
Imagine
yes,
what happens with normal people.
yes.
Yes.
Well, I have a story that I'll see if I have it, and I'll send it to you. When I was teaching at school, and I was preparing my students for the IB examination, the International Baccalaureate, no? And there is one lesson that deals with the question of marriage, arranged marriages, which is a tradition in India. And some people are interviewed in the article, and they said that they agree with the system, that for them it is
Yes.
okay.
Yes,
No, women and men. So
yes, of course. There
Yes.
are many traditions that when certain people do not accept, and the
claro,
opposite happens in this homosexuality, for instance, or and many things. And it is okay for me, but it is rather for me unpleasant to go to India to see poverty,
Ah, no. Yes.
pollution.
yes,
For
I
me
yes,
too.
mm,
To
yes.
see the poverty, no.
people go for an spiritual
Yes.
motive, but I am not so spiritual, so
No.
So you don't need to go to India. Oh my God.
yoga is very good. I am training yoga and I like it.
Okay, that is very good. We accept it, but we don't travel to India. So funny. You're so
And
funny.
Indian food is also okay.
A bit too spicy, perhaps. Very spicy. Yes,
I like it.
you like it. Well, so here, this conversation is interesting because the difference between, they say, no, that the difference between the Indians and the English is that when the Indians take bribes, they are punished. But the English take the bribe, do nothing, and so he says, I admire them. We all admire them because they can
A
cheat.
double standard.
The double standard, exactly, the double standard. Oh, not yet, Huka is so jolly now. You are a very selfish voice. He raised his voice suddenly and shouted for dinner. Servants shouted back that it was ready. They meant that they wished it was ready, and we are so understood, for nobody moved. Then Hamidullah continued, but with changed manner and evident emotion. But take my case, the case of young Hugh Bannister. Here is the son of my dear, my dead friends, the Reverend and Mrs. Bannister, whose goodness to me in England I shall never forget or describe. They were father and mother to me. I talk to them as I do now. In the vacations, their rectory became my home. They entrusted all their children to me. I often carried little Hugh about. I took him up to the funeral of Queen Victoria and held him in my arms above the crowd. Queen Victoria was different, murmured Mahmoud Ali. I learn now that this boy is in business as a leather merchant at Kanpur. I imagine how I long to see him and to pay his fare, that this house may be his home. But it is useless. The other Anglo-Indians will have got hold of him long ago. He will probably think that I want something, and I cannot face that from the son of my old friends. Oh, what in this country has gone wrong with everything, Vakil Sahib? I ask you. So you see, he's sad because he cannot invite his friend's son, because his friend's son will think that he wants something from him, that he was interested, and he was simply grateful, no? And now he mentions these two people, yes, the Reverend and Mrs. Bannister and his wife. They were very kind because they were the Protestant vicars. They were sent, they were sent to India, and then they received him in England. Yes, they were religious people. Assis joined. Why talk about the English? Brr. Why be either friends with the fellows or not friends? Let us shut them out and be jolly. Queen Victoria and Mrs. Bannister were the only exceptions, and they are dead. So apparently they even loved Queen Victoria, you see? They thought that she was different. Well, that is very interestingly shown in the film. You saw the film Queen Victoria, where she receives the Indians.
I didn't. No.
Yes, there is a whole episode of Queen Victoria going to India and meeting a man there, and there she feels for him. He's a kind of assistant to her, and everything she does is with him. And there is a doubt that they had a kind of affair, but that is only a doubt. Okay.
She was a widow.
Is a film or is a reality?
No, well, in reality, there is a rumor that she had this man.
It's a rumor in the yes.
In the film, it is hinted at. That's it. But it's a very good film. It's a film, Queen Victoria.
Queen Victoria is the name.
The lover of Lady D was an Indian.
Who?
The last lover, the
yes, her, yes, the father of her child she was pregnant with when she died.
Well, this is
Lady D?
Claro.
No. This is a rumor.
Yes.
No, they said that she was pregnant. You think she was not?
I thought it was a rumor.
A rumor.
Well, I don't know. Perhaps it was a rumor. I don't know. Yes.
But Dodi Al-Fayed.
Dodi Al-Fayed is the son of the owner of Harrods.
Harrods owner.
Yes.
But are they from India? I thought they were from
Arabia or something. But she had before another lover who was an Indian, a doctor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Queen Victoria also had this, there was this rumor, about this man. Then I will check the name and I will give it to you. The film is a new film, not a very old film.
Okay.
No, I do not admit that. I have met others. So the man there in the conversation said that he also met other women who were good, not only Queen Victoria and
Mrs. Bannister.
And Mrs. Bannister. So have I, said Mahmoud Ali, unexpectedly veering. All ladies are far from alike. Their mood was changed, and they recalled little kindnesses and courtesies. She said, "Thank you so much," in the most natural way. She offered me a lozenge when the dust irritated my throat. Hamidullah could remember more important examples of angelic administration, but the other, who only knew Anglo-India, had to ransack his memory for scraps. And it was not surprising that he should return to, "But of course, all this is exceptional. The exception does not prove the rule. The average woman is like Mrs. Turton, and Aziz, you know what she is." Aziz did not know, but said he did. He too generalized from his disappointments. It is difficult for members of a subject race to do otherwise. Okay, so this is the conclusion. It is difficult for members of the subject race, de la raza dominada, see, to do otherwise. They generalize. Granted the exceptions, he agreed that all English women are haughty and venal. Okay?
Haughty,
Haughty es
Soberbia.
soberbia, sí, que te miran desde arriba, haughty. Yes?
Thanks, Tere.
Haughty and venal. The gleam passed from their conversation, whose wintry surface unrolled and expanded interminably. A servant announced dinner. They ignored him. The elder men had reached their eternal politics. Another point that is very interesting in the novel is this question of politics that the Indians always discuss. Yes? They go to the garden. The trees smell sweet, green-blossomed champak, and scraps of Persian poetry came into his head. This Aziz, this doctor, has this characteristic. We know that he's young. Remember that at the very beginning it said he was young. He was full of enthusiasm. Yes, very active. He was funny, and he was very much interested in poetry. Yes. Dinner. But when he returned to the house for it, Mahmud Ali had drifted away in his turn to speak to his Saiz. "Come and see my wife a little then," said Hamidullah, and they spent 20 minutes behind the purdah. Hamidullah Begum was a distant aunt of Aziz, and the only female relative he had in Chandrapur. You see, women have to be behind the purdah. This is what Malena was saying, no? In a different room, in a different place. And this woman, this Aziz's aunt, had much to say to him on this occasion about a family circumcision that had been celebrated with imperfect pomp. It was difficult to get away because until they had had their dinner, she would not begin hers, and consequently prolonged her remarks in case they should suppose she was impatient. So you see, this is another point. She could not eat until they had finished. Yes? So this situation of men before, women later. Yes? Having censured the circumcision, she bethought her of kindred topics and asked Aziz when he was going to be married. Respectful but irritated, he answered, "Once is enough." So we get another piece of information. Aziz had been married. Yes, he has done his duty. Esto me da risa. He has done his duty, said Hamidullah. Do not tease him so. He carries on his family, 2 boys and their sister. So, Aziz was married before. We will see that he was a widow. His wife died. Yes. And so for Hamidullah, he had done his duty. So it was a kind of obligation. And this is what we were discussing before. And Malena, you said about your colleague in New York. He was, at a certain age, he had to marry, no? And this is the same. Aziz fulfilled his duty. He married. He had 2 boys and their sister. And they live most comfortably with my wife's mother, where she was living when she died. I can see them whenever I like. They are such very, very small children. And he sends them the whole of his salary and lives like a low-grade clerk and tells no one the reason. What more do you require him to do? So this is what, now you see, you are getting information about Aziz.
He has 3 children.
Yes, he has 3 children living with his sister-in-law, and he sends them all the salary, and he lives in a very poor condition, but he gives all the money to his children, no? But this was not Hamidullah Begum's point, and having cautiously changed the conversation for a few moments, she returned and made it. She said, "What is to become of all our daughters if men refuse to marry? They will marry beneath them, or..." And she began the oft-told tale of a lady of imperial descent who could find no husband in the narrow circle where her pride permitted her to mate. So, we said before that they had this system of division, political division among people, social division. And so in the circle of this group of people, they are Indians, but they are well-to-do. They have an imperial descent. They come from an empire. So they had to marry these women. And who will marry them, she says, if all men behave like Aziz, no? So while the tale was in progress, it convinced the two men the tragedy seemed a slur on the whole community. Better polygamy, almost, than that a woman should die without the joys God has intended her to receive. Better polygamy. So this is the tragedy that this community has, yes, that they had to marry within the circle, no beneath, because a woman should not die without the joys that God intended her to receive. Wedlock, motherhood, power in the house. For what else is she born? And how can the man who has denied them to her stand up to face her creator and his own at the last day? So this aunt was trying to convince Aziz that he had to marry again. Aziz took his leave saying, perhaps, but later, no? He's invariably replied to such an appeal. So evidently, Aziz doesn't want to marry. No, it is evident. You mustn't put off what you think right, said Hamidullah. That is why India is in such a plight, because we put off things. And here we get a very important information too, yes? He thinks that India is like that because they have the habit of putting off things. And later we will see that, no? Well,
putting off like discard.
Yes, to leave for later. Yes.
Postpone would be.
Postpone. Yes, postpone. Okay. During their absence, Mahmoud Ali had gone off in his carriage, leaving a message that he should be back in 5 minutes, but they were on no account to wait. They sat down to meet with a distant cousin of the house, Mohammed Latif, who lived on Hamidullah's bounty and who occupied the position neither of a servant nor of an equal. He did not speak unless spoken to, and since no one spoke, kept unoffended silence. Now and then he belched in compliment to the richness of the food. This is what, Malena, you mentioned about their culture, no? They belch, eruptan. Es un signo de buena educación, mostrar que la comida es rica, ¿sí?
Claro.
A gentle, happy, and dishonest old man. All his life, he had never done a stroke of work. So, see, no? He lives, this man, lives in his cousin's house, and his cousin has to give him everything, food, etc. So he's there, he doesn't work, and he doesn't talk. So long as someone of his relatives had a house, he was sure of a home. And it was unlikely that so large a family would all go bankrupt. His wife led a similar existence, some hundreds of miles away. He did not visit her, owing to the expense of the railway ticket. Presently, Aziz chaffed him, also the servants, and then began quoting poetry, Persian, Urdu, a little Arabic. His memory was good, and for so young a man he had read largely. The themes he preferred were the decay of Islam and the brevity of love.
Okay. Two things that are